At a certain point, you'll go, I've got it. And you'll start to get creative and change what I'm telling you to do into something that suits you. And so what you'll start to see as the day goes on is you look around the room and everybody's doing the same thing, and at around about lunchtime or thereabouts, what we tend to see is you look around and everyone's doing different things. The amount of force that you can generate from these cups is quite strong. The Anatomy Train's idea is that we have muscles connecting throughout our body. We know that. We have fascial lines of tension, or fascial slings throughout the body. So fascia, we know, is this, it's like Jesus or God, it's everywhere, it's omnipresent. So fascia is everywhere in our body, it's three-dimensional. It wraps around our muscles and bones. It invests and goes through the muscles and through the joints. It supports our organs, it gives our body its shape. If we took our fascia out, we'd pretty much just be a bag of water, we'd fall on the ground. So fascia is super important, but it does organise itself along lines of tension. So we have the first fascial line we'll look at today is the superficial back line, which runs from your eyebrows over the top of your head like a sheet, down the back of the body, into the soles of the feet, to the base of the toes. That's one continuous sheet of fascia. When you're shrunken down, it will deform to whatever forces we apply to it over time. If you decided to puff your chest out and walk around like that for a couple of weeks, your posture will improve because the fascia will respond. If you do it for an hour or for a few minutes, it'll feel all right, and then it'll go back again. Fascia will deform to whatever habit you apply to it, but it has to be a habit. It has to happen over time. So let's see you stand there and reach for your toes, please. Oh, wow. We don't even have to fake it.
I could probably go a little bit further.
But it's not.
They're pulling now, like
yeah.
It's stretching.
Okay,
yeah.
And it's not great, is it? Like, we'd like to be able to go a bit further than that. Yeah?
Yeah.
Tell me where it is that you feel it exactly.
Oh, I'm feeling it all through my hammies and calves as well.
Okay, so lower hamstrings and top of the calves, would that?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was our subjective, patient-centered assessment. Easy. Now we do an objective, measured, repeatable, replicatable assessment. So I'll get you to sit up on the table. So I want to get the feet to 90 degrees. If you let them relax their feet and they reach out for their toes, and we do all the treatment and they feel amazing and more flexible, when she comes back the second time, she might naturally have her feet there, which has changed the measurement that I've just done. So I need to start with a baseline, all right? So that's pretty easy. Let's bring the feet together. And I get the feet to 90 degrees, toes up straight. And I want you to reach out as far as you can.
It's worse. Like, I'm so tight, I can't actually sit.
I might need a bigger ruler. Okay, so it's going to be in the negatives, the number, and I typically measure from the toenail back to the tip of the longest finger. All right, so I'm going to put that 0 there, and I want you to reach out as far as you can to that ruler, and you're at 20, negative.
Oh, no, I could probably get started.
Okay.
All right, there we go. Yeah, up there.
Negative 16.
Okay.
Because the person who has a big negative often has a big positive when so the change is more dramatic. So I'm going to spread that around over the area where we want to put the cup. So I'm going to start just with the distal hamstrings. I know you've got to top the calves as well.
Yeah.
And you would chase that area with the technique if you're doing this clinic. Quick and easy. All right, throw them on, easy done. Placement is less important than you think, as in exact location is less important than you think. You're trying to pick up the muscle and the connective tissue around it. I wouldn't necessarily put it in the center of the thigh, because where do your hamstrings go? They go laterally. Shortening and returning to neutral. Have I lengthened it at this point? Not really. But it might be a nice place to start if she's very sensitized. Yeah. So we don't have to go very far and she'll feel it tension. It'll be quite strong. Right? So I'm just slowly, cyclically repeating that movement. Okay, is that getting easier?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, no.
Okay. So initially you went oh at about there.
Yeah.
So we can go a little bit further.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that easy?
Yeah.
It's easy.
It's
Not too
cool
much
the
stretch.
way you can feel it. I like that feel.
Feel
Yeah.
it full?
Yeah.
A lot of patients will love the sensation of it. Oh yeah, it's a really good stretch. Now the first time people get up off the table, initially they might go, whoa. I've even seen people have cups on their hamstrings and stand up and go. It's like the tension's so tight it's pulling them backwards over the heels. So in that case, the first movement could just be standing there, bend your knees, and straighten them.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Can you feel the tension increase as you do that?
It's better because it's actually quite tight when you're standing.
Yeah.
Like
Unlocks it.
Yeah.
And then tensions it again. So that
Yeah.
might be the first movement if it's
Yeah.
really strong. And take a little bit of weight on your hands, slide down towards your knees until you feel the stretch. Wherever that is, stretch out the cups.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
Coming back up. And you repeat that cyclically, moving up and down. I like to get them to put their hands on their thighs, because if you don't use your hands on your thighs and you're going down, there's quite a lot of load in the hamstrings. The idea is not to eccentrically load the muscle with decompression, it's to lengthen the tissue. Load up that posterior chain a little bit, and now do the same thing. Reach down, coming back up and down. Now you were struggling to sit like this initially.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's obviously some lower back stuff going on.
And I do have some issues. Like whenever I did yoga, I would have to sit on something.
Yeah.
Like to stretch forward.
So you've probably got some hip lower back stuff as well. We can address that separately. So we're going to get those feet at 90 degrees. Set up our 0 centimeters at the toenail. And if you don't mind, reach forward over the top of that ruler.
Wow.
That's a bit better.
That's a good
9.
4 inches.
So you gain 7 centimeters. Okay? Not bad. We could get you a lot further. If we did that to the calves as well, and then maybe low back, I wouldn't be surprised if you got your toes.
Yeah.
I've seen people go 29 centimeter increase with about 5-minute treatment. It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, so that's pretty good. You can give that a round of applause.